Hello, everyone. So my name is Terri'Onna Walker, but I do prefer to be called Terry. I just find it just simpler and easier to remember, if that makes sense. I am a 22-year-old student here at Harbor College, and before I get into the video, I do want to apologize if I make mistakes upon any words, or if I stutter, or just stumble upon words. I am not the best with my speech, hence why I'm in this class now. But today I will be talking about the O.C.E.A.N personality traits and basically the results I received after taking the quiz and just how I feel about the results. Before I get into that, the O.C.E.A.N personality traits are basically part of a model that psychologists use in order to describe human characteristics or their personality traits. And when it comes to personality tests in general, I just find them enjoyable. Like, I really find it intriguing getting to know yourself on a deeper level and just getting in tune with yourself, especially when it comes to either emotionally or spiritually. So I had fun taking this quiz. But let's get into the first letter of the acronym, that being the O, which stands for openness to experiences. Now, those who score high in the openness area, they're usually into trying new things, trying new experiences. And I would say that I like trying new things. Like, I like to travel, go new places, venture out and things like that. However, when it comes to my food, I'm very picky. I'm a picky eater, so it's not like I'm going to sit out there and try all different type of foods and things like that. I'm not. So there's that. But along with enjoying new things, individuals who score high in this area, they have a lot of abstract thoughts or just abstract ideas that they come up with and things like that. Now, when it comes to that, I can relate there because of the fact that I'm one that's just always thinking about different possibilities or different theories. So I check that off very much so. And next, they're imaginative. Those who score low in this area, they're usually like about their routines or sticking to the plans that they've set for themselves. And I can also relate to that too, because I'm one that always has to have a checkbox, for anything. And I'm big on just planning and things like that. Along with that, they just stick to the familiar places that they're used to, their comfort zone, a setting that's usual and normal to them. Now, if it's something that's just out of the ordinary, it'll make them feel uncomfortable. They're resistant to change. So it's just like they don't want to be put in a predicament where they just have to feel out of place. So along with that, they are conservative in taste. So you know how I mentioned earlier that I am one who is picky about my food. I'm also picky about music that I listen to. Like, honestly, I only listen to my country and my R&B. I will not step outside of that. I kid you not. But so when it came down to my results that I would receive and the openness, I was kind of like scared and iffy because I was being an iffy individual. But I scored a score of 87, which is pretty high. But moving on to the C, which stands for conscientiousness, I scored a 94 in that area. Pretty great. And it actually didn't make no surprise to me. It wasn't a surprise to me because of the fact that individuals who score high in these areas, they plan tasks carefully, which I do. My family even comes to me as far as when it comes to planning our family events and everything like that, because they know that I will have that checklist there, making sure everything is checked off and there's nothing missing or out of place. I am one of them. So, and along with that, those who score high in this area, they think before acting, and I'm an overthinker. So it's like I'm going to ponder with my thoughts before I do anything. And also they like a set schedule, or they're big on deadlines. I am one that do not like last minute plans. I don't know how I don't know how you expect me to be completely ready, or I don't like to be rushed. So I would prefer having things just scheduled. So then we have the E, which stands for extroversion, and basically individuals who score high in this area, they're social. They're very social, and they like to talk, even to strangers. They wouldn't mind having that conversation. And maybe a few years ago, I would have considered myself a very social and talkative person. But nowadays, I'm not big on crowds. I'm not big on groups. I'm really, really not. Along with being social, individuals who score high here are they're energetic and often seen as lively and just always showing excitement. And what's crazy about that part right there, I'm always getting told, like, you just seem so happy and excited. I'm always smiling. And I get told a lot that I just have live energy. Like, it's just there. However, I don't consider it to be such. And they're also assertive and bold. So they're not afraid to ask questions if they're confused. And they're just confident in expressing their opinions. I actually am very confident and assertive and bold. So there's that. So my score of 73% did not surprise me either, because of the fact that I'm just like, I'm pretty energetic, but I'm also just changing to be this introvert, So there's that. And next, we're going to move on to the agreeableness. And those who score high in agreeableness, they're usually just empathetic and compassionate, I consider myself an empath. I'm always like, just trying to connect, and I'm sensitive to others' feelings, and I always try to respond with kindness. So, yeah, that's very much me. And they're also trusting and forgiving. I'm one that will forgive you so easily, and that's me. And they're also just cooperative, and they prefer cooperation over competition. That's me, yet again. I'm one that's willing to compromise before I go back and forth with you. We can make a compromise. Like, we can compromise before, competition. I do not like competition. Or I don't like just confronting. Like, not into it. So lastly, we have the N for neuroticism. And basically, when it comes to that, it's just a reflection of emotional stability, and how prone someone is to experiencing negative emotions like anxiety or mood disorders. So after understanding exactly what that field was about, I understood why I got that 91% in that area, because I am one that always anticipates the worst case scenario. And maybe that's just because I'm always just thinking about them theories or just different possibilities. But along with that, I have a difficulty staying calm and in frustrated situations. Like, my mood shifts from like 0 to 100 quickly, and it's actually kind of scary, honestly. But I understand my score. I really, really do. But that leads me to the next part. Well, the results that I received helped me in the career path that I'm choosing to go for, which is actually to be a juvenile probation officer. I aspire to be a juvenile probation officer. So being open-minded and the fact that I'm able to just not be so closed-minded will help me, because we don't all come from the same place. We don't all go through the same things, different background, different cultures, and everything like that. So the fact that I'm open-minded, yes, that is really going to help me. The fact that I plan and I make schedules and things like that will help me, just make sure I'm also taking care of my own mental while trying to help others. The fact that I am an empath, that will help me, because I want to understand the emotions and just be able to feel the emotions of the children that I will be dealing with. Yes, that'll help me. Agreeableness, yes. And I just got to work on my mood swings and just, being a little bit more patient and not just always thinking so negatively. Work on the anxiety that I have and things like that. That also will hinder me in relationships that I have, as far as when it comes to family members, friends, or just romantic relationships in general. I have to work on just not being so negative. I'm an overthinker, as I mentioned. That's probably something that I should work on too, honestly. So that just about sums it all up. I am satisfied with my results. As I mentioned in the beginning, I'm just intrigued by just getting to know myself a little bit more so that I can work on things that may need to be worked on. But yes, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I hope you enjoyed the video.